Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean?
His authorization to do legal representation.
Are you a licensed attorney?
No, I'm simply an attorney of fact.
Okay. And does that mean you have a power of attorney? What is your name? What is your name?
All right, guys, today's courtroom scene is pure chaos. We've got Matthew Aldridge here, or at least that's the name listed on the paperwork, but the man standing at the podium is trying the classic, I don't have a name routine. He's calling himself an attorney of fact, which is not even a legitimate legal title. These sovereign citizen types always claim courts have no authority over them, but here's reality. Courts have jurisdiction over people in their area, period. The judge wastes no time shutting this down and absolutely schools him by the end. Let's get into it.
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Pardon?
I'm the attorney of fact for the respondent in the area.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not at this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge.
Why don't we court just let me file this document?
Show it to the bailiff and he'll show it to me.
Have a copy of it.
Oh, apparently there's a copy here.
I mean, seriously, this guy is calling himself an attorney of fact, and to prove it, he hands the judge some random paper. You guys didn't see it clearly because it dragged on a bit, but the document supposedly quoted some made-up law, saying he could represent Matthew Aldridge. Real attorneys need state licenses and must follow actual legal procedures, not homemade paperwork and fantasy loopholes. Sovereign citizens love talking about jurisdiction like saying magic words puts them above the law, but it never works. Courts run on established law, not nonsense, and this judge clearly had zero patience for it. Honestly, are these cases becoming more common, or am I just cursed finding them?
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which is set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case that you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Will that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury. Certainly it would be. But I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court, and you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are, in fact, Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately, it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered.
This judge handled the whole circus like a complete professional. He stayed calm while shutting this guy down at every turn. The man barely got started with his attorney-of-fact nonsense before the judge dismantled it piece by piece. It almost felt like the judge had dealt with this exact nonsense before because he was ready for every argument. And when he joked about the guy not being able to utter his own name, that was hilarious. Judges are usually stoic and expressionless, so seeing that little moment was great. From the start, it was obvious this judge had no intention of wasting 1 second on these games. In the end, it just shows how pointless these stunts really are.
Then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are, in fact, Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
Sovereign citizens are truly something else. These are people who think they can opt out of the legal system just by saying they don't recognize the government's authority. They throw around terms like common law or the UCC while completely misunderstanding what any of it means. Courts operate under federal, state, and local law backed by the Constitution. There is no loophole where you simply declare the rules don't apply to you. Instead, they clog courtrooms with bizarre arguments, waste everyone's time, and usually make things worse for themselves. Judges have seen it all before, and these tactics never work. Honestly, it's less rebellion and more self-inflicted embarrassment. Thanks for watching, guys.